Front page of the Australian newspaper last week. Long COVID bill, 577 billion jabs in bin. So it's not all bad news. Journos Jeff and Sarah, they reckon the 577 billion was well worth it, even though they do call it eye-watering, because spending all that money secured a faster post-pandemic economic recovery that helped Joe's bank 22.1 billion surplus. Now, if they can maintain a surplus of 22.1 billion every year, and there's no pandemic emergency, not another one, then they can pay off the bill for flu seasons 2020, 2021 and 2022, the period of the emergency, in 26.7 years. Interestingly, the 577 billion doesn't mention the 330 billion still sitting on the RBA's balance sheet that was accrued during the emergency declaration. That also needs to be replenished from public funds. So once they've just gone, the exchange settlement accounts of money held with the RBA by the banks that were topped in during COVID is $330 billion. Balanced against that liability and the other liabilities is this Australian dollar investments of $424 billion, which includes the supposed treasury bonds that the RBA bought when they typed that money into the exchange settlement accounts. Now, this was admitted by the RBA to be unconventional monetary policy, and it was done during the emergency period when, according to the Biosecurity Act severability clauses, well, the Constitution wasn't in play. Now, at the bottom, that $525 billion has liabilities and assets. For those to remain equal, the banks can't withdraw the $330 billion until the Treasury transfers money into the Australian dollar investments, and that's how it's going to flow to the public funds are going to flow to the banks. So the difference between normal treasury bonds and QE treasury bonds is that normal treasury bonds, the money goes into our economy, but with QE, it just goes straight to the banks. So I'll finish off with the good news. Down the bottom there, Health Department figures reveal more than 35%, more than, they've just picked that number to make it sound it's not as catastrophic, but it could be up to 80 or 90%, were tossed out due to oversupply or due to no one. And I mean, there's every person you talk to, try and find someone who's had the jab in the last year and a half, 2 years. Nobody is taking it. Which begs the question, why are we still paying for this thing to be built? Canada's has already finished. I think the UK's is. Notice how they're all in the Western countries. They must have big plans to revamp the jabbing of everyone with this crap, but I think people are putting their health ahead of mortgage payments now, because if you're unhealthy, you can't make your mortgage payment anyway. Now, my next video, incidentally, is going to be on COVID debt in the submission that I made to the government, and it's broken down in that as well. So, all right, that's it for this one.